Okay, hold on a second, Keisha. Just let me ask Ronald exactly what's going on, because it takes two to tango, and I need to hear his side of the story.
So she's driving me insane, got stress heavy on my brain. She keeps playing silly games, and I'm about to bring the pain. We seem to fuss and fight every day and every night. Please give some advice so we can see the light, see the light.
I'm Zoe Williams, the voice of reason. If your relationship is in trouble, I'm your dude to call. Has your soul fate become your cellmate? Does black love still exist? What are your bedroom turnoffs? Fantasies and fetishes. Financial infidelity. I'm dating a fat person. Are they worth the wait? Trust me, this gonna be crazy.
How about the heavy stuff?
The child wasn't here, and you still had to pay child support.
It's a very heated topic.
How was that right?
Mama's baby, daddy's maybe.
I just have so many questions I want to ask you.
I just like to kiss a woman's ass. Is there something wrong with that?
Damn.
He told me he had a vasectomy. I'm pregnant.
Betrayal has been committed.
Hit you with the bad pipes routine.
How does he maintain his humbosity?
He likes it when it pinches my neck.
Why can't you open up, brother?
I'm a karate man. Karate man who's on the inside. They don't show their weaknesses.
Yeah.
How do you write women so well?
So Williams,
Reason and accountability.
the voice of reason. Yeah. About to get into another argument. Welcome back to the voice of reason. You already know what it is. Listen, I know I've been gone for about a week. Come on. Memorial Day is near my birthday, so it's kind of like a Memorial Day. It's like a whole weekend. I needed to recharge my batteries. Let me tell you something about these conversations. They take a lot out of you. You know why? Because we're willing to have the conversations that most motherfuckers refuse to have.
Yep.
We not finna come with no flowery bullshit. You know, people like flowers. Give people flowers when they're alive. How about give people the truth when they're alive?
Right.
I got an incredible topic lined up for you. Tone Talks is in the building. We've got Sarah without the H.
Yeah.
We've got my homegirl Peaches. She showed all of her back earlier. I told her if I could cut a square out of her back, I could season some greens.
I don't know if that's a compliment.
Leave my friend alone.
But I'm saying she had a sexy back.
Looking like sweet potato pie.
Ooh,
You know, like if you have a preference, like, oh yeah, athletic build or some shit like that. And then you see a sexy woman in another build. Mm-hmm. Be like, I might have been missing something.
Mm-hmm.
I might be missing the pancake batter.
Yeah. Pancake sex.
Yeah. So we in the building right now. And then there's a young lady fresh out of Atlanta. I met her yesterday doing the Homeboy Billionaire PA's podcast. We're going to show her. We're going to introduce her. We're going to let her introduce herself in a second. Before I get into all of that, I got to promote a couple of things right now. Total Package Energy. In the name of Sweet Baby Ray's barbecue sauce, if this ain't the best energy drink in the fucking world.
We know.
That's why your mic ain't on. Because you want to chime in. Nobody asked you to chime in. Shit. Total Package Energy. I'm telling you right now, we need to move. Let's move. This is the last day of the month. I make $5 a case. Can we move? Let's move 400 cases. Can we do that? Come on, everybody get a case. Go to TotalPackageEnergy.com. Jesus. I get pennies. TotalPackageEnergy.com. Then also,
Oh, yeah.
you already know what this is.
Yup.
Yeah.
You already know what this is.
Yeah.
Beal sauce? Beal sauce. I'm going to need somebody to say it for me. Peaches, do you have it in your repertoire? Can you say it?
Beal sauce.
No, it's terrible. Sarah, can you say it?
Beal sauce. That's okay.
I'm interested, though.
Yeah,
There's something there.
Thanks.
It makes me want to play baseball.
What makes you want to do it?
Play baseball here in her
Okay,
state.
say it one more time.
Beal sauce.
Yeah.
There might be something there. I don't know.
I would be running for a ball hearing her say that.
Beal sauce.
I like balls.
It's Beal sauce, man. The greatest hot sauce in the game. You guys got to get you a bottle. Go to bealsauce.com. Bealsauce.com. B-E-A-L-E. Beal sauce.
Yours makes me want chicken and watermelon.
Beal sauce. Go get it right now. Support them, support them, support them. Also, if you haven't gotten my books, man, you guys are playing reindeer games. It's not even Christmas time. Your name's not Rudolph. Go get the books. The Relationship Dismount, released in 2015. You in a dig? 2015. 12 chapters. Somebody's video is on. Is it you? Could be you. Trying to watch and listen at the same time.
It is
Thank
her.
you very much. Yeah, right in front of the microphone. It's fine. Here we go. 3 formats on Amazon.com. Audible, Kindle, and paperback. Let's all move and buy 2 copies today. The Relationship Dismount, How to Stick the Landing When Exiting a Toxic Relationship. 12 chapters. Workbook at the end of each chapter. Can't matriculate until you do the personal work. It's a great book. February 14th, Valentine's Day 2019, the follow-up came out. The Holographic Relationship. Go to my website to get the paperback. IamZoeWilliams.com. Thank you. People are saying in the chat room it's a great book. Thank you. Appreciate it. Please, please, please go support these projects that I'm putting in front of you. Don't forget, watch this though. Let me tell y'all something about Zoe Williams. I'm not gonna stop working. I'm not. Okay? August 2019. This is coming your way. VOR Radio. One more time. You mean to tell me Dash Radio gave me my own channel?
Yeah. Like that.
VOR Radio.
Where mindfulness.
That's ugly. You'll never do it. Don't ever.
That's how you say it.
Damn, she's
Where
gonna fuck.
mindfulness.
I didn't say it. That's somebody else saying it. I'm just gonna fuck up my whole little drop. Huh?
That's what's up. Hey!
I know. Hey, I'm finna change the game. It's
The clumsy chemist radio.
Zoe Williams is the clumsy chemist. One more time.
Yeah.
That's so dope.
Yeah. All right. I think I've promoted enough things now.
That was good.
Let's take a look at the panel. We've got a whole squad in the building. So you already know what it is. If this is your first time tuning into The Voice of Reason, please understand just a little bit about what we do. We typically don't have men in here other than myself. But Tone reached out. Said, so we have a serious conversation. And we must present it to the young ladies and get their perspectives. The VOR is a female roundtable that deals with relationships that has a male moderator, principal, sensei, guru, shaman, myself, Zoe Williams. The only thing I do not tolerate in this roundtable is lies. You must tell the truth. You must be accountable when you are exposed. So today's topic, we got a great one. Are you guilty? This is a tough topic. Ooh. This is a hard topic. You ready for this? I guarantee you everybody can relate to this. The number to dial is 323-230-4610. That's 323-230-4610. Are you guilty of holding your partner to a higher standard than you do with your immediate family members? You can live with your family's mediocrity, but your lover has to cover all of the emotional debt you inherited from your family, all of the financial debt you inherited from your family, all of the traumatic debt.
I like.
Fundamentally speaking, is your partner your 360 deal coping mechanism for all the bullshit you got from the crib? Huh? You love your brother unconditionally because he's your brother. But he stole from you, borrowed from you, never paid it back. Fucked up your property.
Stole your green contacts.
Didn't finish school.
You said
You let the nigga build a motherfucking studio in your garage. But your man, this nigga got to have 37 degrees. He's got to make well over 6 figures.
1,200 FICO.
Oh, let's get it.
You need a 1,200 FICO.
He needs a 1,200 FICO.
Out of 8. What is it?
It's only, you can only get 850 I think, but he needs 1,200.
no, he need 12.
Huh? Your family mediocre, but your partner's not. That's one of your little prerequisites. Oh, fantasy building ass nigga. Fantasy relationship. The number to dial is 323-230-4610. I got questions. Do you judge your partner? This is crazy, man. Against listen to that. Against perfection, and give your family a pass for everything. You judge your partner against perfection, but you give your family a pass for everything.
So,
You ain't got no passes for your partner?
so tell these dudes from Louisiana to stop asking their woman how to make Chinese food. Let's be evil.
Oh, God. Hey, turn that fan off behind you. This is about to get crazy up in here.
They want some Peking duck.
She don't know how to cook sweet potato pie. That's it.
The number to dial, 323-230-4610. Call me right now.
We versatile.
This shit about to be
Nah, we
crazy.
ain't making Peking duck with duck sauce and shit.
Let me get these questions. If you have children from past relationships, at what age is it time to treat them like adults? Their 20s or their 30s? 323-230-4610. 323-230-4610. You know, traditional black families can't wait till a motherfucker turn 18. That's poverty speaking. I ain't got no money. Nigga, you grown. You either go to the military, you either go to school or the military, nigga. But you got to get the fuck out here.
Yeah.
You gonna get up out these pockets by 18, my nigga. That's poverty speaking.
But you had a job since you was 16
Listen, we not talking about CETA. We're talking about the CETA program. Where you can
Okay.
just make enough money to get your goddamn school closed. Girl, be quiet. You be quiet until I come to you. The number to dial is 323-230-4610. This is about to be crazy. Why do so many of our men think they can split rent with their wives
Oh my God.
while talking about buying their mama a house? How you gonna get your mama a house?
Hey!
And it's a prerequisite that you and your woman split the rent. What kind of cockamamie scheme you got going in the garage, my nigga? 323-230-4610.
50-50.
Your partner can't be mediocre, but your family can. You got mediocre passes for family, but not your lover. Hallelujah. We gonna have
Good
church this
reason.
evening. Yes, Lord. 323-230-4610. Let me throw it to Tone Talks, and then our new guest, and then the ladies of the VOR.
Yeah, man. I guess, one of the things you start to see is, I think these partners are reflections of just add-ons in life. And so, like...
Add-on, damn.
So you born with your brothers and sisters. You born with your mama and your daddy. And then even, like, when you start talking about, like, your children, you kind of see them as an extension of you. So you still don't want to face yourself and talk to them like you should be talking to yourself. But these partners, particularly, I think it goes both ways, woman to man, man to woman, but I think it's even more aggressive or assertive, woman to man. Let me give you an example. You making $12, well, let me say, you're making $9 an hour, and you're talking to men telling them that you don't have time to waste. But then you pick up your brother and San Bernardino at work every day. I'm just being straight, like, that doesn't mean, in a sense, someone should waste your time. But in a lot of senses, I think you sit and watch Maury Povich, but then tell somebody that you don't want to waste time getting to know nobody.
And you know what?
I feel...
Don't even say Maury Povich. Say what it is. Say Real Housewives of Fuckery.
Or say listening to your mama talk about, like, how her life went wrong.
Right.
And how she just out of jail and she gonna be right next week. I'm just being real. So, like, the reason why I'm bringing that up isn't to say you shouldn't listen to your mama. It isn't to say that per se, but it's saying that the relationship, the intimate relationship, cannot hold the weight of the social failures of blackness for you. And I think for a lot of people, men and women, because a lot of men are out here, they had a bad run with their mama, and they mate gonna be perfect.
Wow.
She don't know how. When I said earlier she don't know how to make Chinese food, that means she come from Louisiana and she might know how to make some fried chicken. You asking her about some noodles, that's your fault. And I'm bringing that as an example. It's an extreme example, but we see it in so many ways where we not getting honest with ourselves, not only about what is, but where we're going, where we come from. But what we doing, and instead of being honest, is we saying to ourselves, we gonna make it all up through our partner being perfect. I'll leave it.
Wow. We have a new lady in the building. I met her yesterday. You have to introduce yourself to the audience. They're listening live. We have a lot of people coming into our live broadcast on YouTube, and they're listening live on Dash Radio, DASHTALK X. Introduce yourself. Tell them what you've done, who you are, where you've been, and contribute to what Tone just said.
What's up, everybody? My name is Elena Banks. I just moved here not too long ago from Atlanta, Georgia. That's right. I was there for 19 years. Wore a few hats while I was there. One, reality star from WeTV selling an ATL. Real estate broker in Georgia and in California. And I also have Boss Talk Radio and World Stargate Radio. So, with that being said, I'm really enjoying myself. I'm feeling right at home, right here next to this Tone guy. But thank you, Zoe, for having me. It's a pleasure.
Okay.
Now, let's see where I want to start.
Now, Tone was just hitting us upside the dome piece on his way home from Jones Beach with some serious shit. What do you have to contribute?
Well, in regards to, a man asking his woman to make this, make that, being from here, from there, that's because I'm from Mississippi. So I'm like right next door.
Mm-hmm.
So, Southerners, we can cook. But what you're not going to do is going to come in and ask for some damn noodles. Not in my kitchen or my mama's kitchen. Okay? Now, I don't know. That's going to make me question where you've been. Because if you come around here asking for some noodles, you've been checking another box.
Oh.
So you might not want to tell them. Is that okay, little buddy?
Yeah, little buddy.
You are so ridiculous, I promise.
I mean, she's purring over here for Tone. I just wanted to put a little.
Did he put the fur on?
I just want to put a little backdrop. Go ahead, finish talking to Tone.
So I'm gonna leave that right there for now. I'm gonna let that sit on there. He's killing me with this hair.
Tone said it's 219.
Now, as far as this mediocre standards
Yes.
in regards to holding your family, giving them a pass, I call that enabling. And then holding your man to these standards. First of all, everybody has standards. If you don't, you need to get yourself some. Now, family in my world, in my spirit, and I always say this: family is fucking first. That's anything.
Wow.
It's a lot of reasons why people don't do business with their family.
Wow.
Yeah. So, in my sense, I'm kind of neutral both ways, regardless of who you are. I don't shit where I eat, and I don't mix personal with business. But I know so many people that have that issue that is always talking about, like, give your dude, just sit him on a pedestal. But your mama and your daddy can ruin your credit, do all kind of stuff, and steal from you, sell your land and you ain't even dead yet. Like, do all kind of crazy stuff to you. But your man is just in a glass box, untouchable. Period, point blank.
So you're flipping it opposite.
Yeah, you saw
Which
that?
is what a Virgo does.
Oh,
my God, Virgos are awesome.
Yes, baby, we're
Instead
amazing.
of dealing with the shit we presented, she gonna flip it the other way.
Well, let me say this, or vice versa. Now you happy?
Tone,
Don't ask Tone.
I'm gonna come back. Because as a man out here in these streets, one thing that rarely gets questioned in my experience is a woman's expectations of a man. Now, if I find out your shit is fantasy-based, reality TV-based, aspirational, that's how we gonna make it. We gonna hope and dream and hustle. That's the plan. The hope, dream, hustle plan for Black love.
Yeah, I think her analogy actually it works, but like in my view, that glass box is set up so that he can break it and be held accountable.
Wow.
I agree with it. I don't think it's there to be set up on a pedestal as much as this is, all this mess is over here. I done had a kid already with somebody who messed up. My brother keeps coming in and out of my house for whatever reason. I'm not, we got ADOS. We understand that the background of blackness is there, but he keep coming in and out of my house. They done closed the homeless shelter or whatever. I'm not saying everybody's brother is homeless, but we talking.
Right.
But this mate that you met is so interchangeable that as a result of him being interchangeable, because you met him a month ago or you met him even a year ago, and there's somebody else out there, you can't change your brother. What you end up doing is setting it up where this piece is going to carry like a Jenga game all of the rest of the broken lines that are above it.
Wow. Wow.
And so I think that what's interesting about how we actually see it in application is I think that a lot of people, I run into, particularly being a black lawyer in LA, it's really hard to date because I'm so straight. I think a lot of these men out here have learned how to be charismatic liars.
Go deeper into that.
And so they'll tell you all of the things about credit repair or black business or all kind of stuff that I know based
Bitcoin.
on whatever Herbalife, all that. And so like you want to hear that though. You get what you are, as Zoe has put so eloquently so many times. But I think what's interesting is when you get what you are and it go wrong, you say it's him. And it's really you. And I find that coming back to this thing about a glass box, the reason why you make it glass is so that when it break, you can just sweep up the pieces and get another glass box. And that's what's going on out here. And I don't know how long it lasts because I think that we're in the middle of a major shift.
Well, we have to blame Oprah and Tony Robbins and who's the other little black guy, motivational?
Les Brown. I like
Les Brown.
I like Les
We got to
Brown.
blame them all because everybody is saying some. It's articulate, but it's stupid, and that is get away from people that ain't doing nothing.
Mm-hmm. Separate yourself.
Get around folk that's doing. First off, you're around motherfuckers that reflect you.
Right.
I've heard Tony Robbins say that, and then the opposite, which is if you want to know somebody, you want to know who somebody really is, look at the 5 closest friends they have. Well, you're one of them.
I think what you're saying, though, is the close view. But if you step back, you got to blame America, because what America did is we lived our lifetime, our adult lifetime, through 2 major shifts. And most people don't have any during their lifetime, let alone multiple generations. Technologically, you saw us go from the corded phone to the advanced cell phone. And then all the technology between that. But then also you saw economic chaos like you haven't seen possibly in the history of America.
Right.
Including slavery.
Right.
And what's happening now is we saw our parents actually achieve stuff through effort because the government was propping them up. They went to work, but only they work counted because the government made unions. Because the government made programs where you put your labor into that program and it becomes a house. Well, during our adult life, particularly this last 5 years and going forward, it don't matter where you put your labor. You put your labor into Uber all night. Come out the other side with a car that got a hole in the seat, and it's your fault, and Uber don't want to pay. And I'm saying, like, we don't understand the world where that was impossible because Nabisco, when your granddaddy was at Nabisco and his foot got hurt, he just took a week off, and they paid him. Yeah. And I'm using all that as an example to say, I think what's happening right now is this chaos is creating a space where we don't understand it's not your fault. But let me go a step further. We don't understand it's not your mate's fault. So if your father is in jail and you don't have wealth because your father came from a slave, you understand that.
Right.
But if your mate don't have money, it's because he didn't work hard enough. We got to understand it all the way around or not at all.
So we make a gang excuses for family.
We make a gang of excuses for ourselves through family.
Sarah doesn't agree. Sarah?
Well, my thing is with family, like you can't pick your family. You know what I'm saying? Like kind of stuck with them. So you deal with them and people come in and out of your lives, even your mate, you think you're going to be with them forever. But a lot of times with your family, like you're pretty much stuck with them, you know. And so we make allowances for them because that's what we're used to. It's our comfort zone. It's the familiar place. And it's those people that they fuck up time and time again. You forgive them, but they've done the same to you in return.
Right. Go in, Peaches.
Well, if you got a family like mine, you say, fuck the family, get your shit together, and you help them when you can. Like, I got brothers that are in and out of jail. Your ass ain't staying with me, Hakbib, when you get out again. You're not staying with me. I'm sorry, he changed his religion too much. He changed too much about he got too many baby mamas. No. Sorry, I'm going to help you from afar.
See, Zoe, I think what we saw right there was the gap between, and they're not that wide apart, but there's a gap in age between you two.
Yes.
It is the difference in seeing crack cocaine in the era and then seeing the era after it where different world told us we all could go to college and become something. And I'm saying this for a reason. And I'm not saying that was a little after you. So I'm saying all this just to say I think in some ways the interesting part about your answer is we choose our family every day by the choices to keep dealing with them.
Fair.
But the thing is,
now watch this though. Now watch this, because now the curveball is because this isn't my family. I feel like I can tailor make what I want.
But what is the relationship supposed to become?
But wait, there's an element of control and entitlement that comes with that.
But the thing is with me, like I say that I think that's ideal because I would want to do that, but actually me and my sister don't get along. Like I totally treat my friends better.
Well, then tell the truth, goddammit, and
No, I
stop
was just talking about
telling
that.
ideals.
Yeah.
Go ahead, young lady.
Okay, let me say this first. Sounds like there needs to be some accountability, first of all.
Speak up.
Second of all, that person is looking for something out of that mate that they did not receive from that family. Okay? So She's saying turn your back against the family, screw you, go get yourself together, come back. But then some people say, no, that's family. You got to take care of family first.
Speaking to the mic, babe. We can't hear you.
Seeing family first is not always going to be correct, first of all. Mm-hmm. So either you're going to have to figure out what position you're going to play, or you're going to be long on and short arm it, make them accountable for what they have. But if you allow that to continue to happen, that's on you. But if you turn around and go hold your mate in a different type of stance that's doing the same thing to you, then you're searching for something else.
But are you talking about mate?
Wait. Because it's easy for you to overlook that because that's what you used to.
But are you talking about being married? Or are you talking about dating or something like that? Because I'm talking because when we talk about family, when I'm married, then now he's a part of my family. Like that's my immediate family.
But can we just be honest?
You know what I'm saying?
Can we just be honest real quick? A lot of y'all families is overrated.
Mine is. But I love my mama though. Everybody else is.
Listen, a lot of your families, even your mama. So a lot of mamas are overrated. A lot of daddies are overrated.
Right.
Can we just be honest? There's a lot of dysfunction. There's a lot of fucked up beliefs. There's a lot of fucked up standards. Mm-hmm. And then we take that into the relationship that we think we're the potter's. What's the potter's hands? We think we can mold this. No, what you're molding is what you came out of.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Unless you reconcile that shit you did you lived in.
Yeah.
If you don't reconcile what you lived in, you can't have what you want.
Molding dirty ass clay.
Let me say something.
Yeah, exactly.
I think Zoe hit something that's really important. If you live in darkness, and I show you a flashlight, it look like the sun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so I say that in context of this. Axios comes out with an article last week. The bottom 50% of America is living on 1% of the wealth. To not be in the bottom 50%, you need to be worth 120,000. 120,000.
Mm-hmm.
We know when we look at it, only 20% of blacks, largely in the LA and San Francisco through the house, older blacks, are worth more than $120,000 net. Working age, a lot of us are in the bottom 50%. The bottom half of them. Now, the point is just to say this.
But let's have a baby.
This is the point. Everybody's living in the darkness of not having any wealth. So what ends up happening is you don't even know what sunlight look like.
Mm.
And I'm saying that in context of this question because I think fundamentally we start looking at family inside of having 1% of the wealth, that's not even black folks. We at the bottom half of the race worth less than $1.
Mm.
Where we're going as wealth calcifies, because this is not over, this is the beginning of a downtrend.
Right.
What you start to see is the question of how will family coexist with self? How will relationship coexist with self? And what I see as the balancing beam of what's going on is we're making a decision to make relationship carry all of the weight and family carry none until it becomes extreme. See, when it becomes extreme, meaning this is the last time you can come over and steal my TV. Or this is the last time that you're going to use my car and then come back with no tire in the front.
Right.
But with the mate, he just literally can't take you out to eat. Because this is where wealth is at.
Wow. Yikes. Ladies, he's outlining the fuckery that you do.
That we do.
Oh, you're the choosers. Huh?
Oh, so it's nothing on y'all.
Hold on, stop it. First off, we're the peacocks. If I got to go rent some feathers to get some pussy, I'm going to do it.
I'm sure.
Okay? Give me the glossy feathers with the sequin. I want the sequin feathers.
Yeah,
because sequin feathers work on these hoes. Now you got to ask the question. Listen, we've already said this before on other shows.
Mm-hmm.
Can you identify a currency within a man that doesn't reside in his wallet? That's a skill, you know.
Mm-hmm.
See, Big Mama had that skill.
Mm-hmm.
Bring a fucked up person to Big Mama's house. That's your friend.
Mm-hmm.
Big Mama be like, that nigga there, don't bring him in this house. Is that nigga? Didn't I tell you nothing? That nigga stand in the garage. She's standing in the parking lot. This nigga don't come in his house. We got a lot of women out here nowadays that are not sensitive to their intuition, that actively practice ignoring their intuition when it does work.
Don't see crazy in a nigga eye.
No. Don't go to crazy because you can't see anything in this nigga because you're looking for certainty, safety, stability.
In the middle of wealth calcification.
In the middle of wealth calcification. What is this time right now? The most?
Well, according to Piketty, this is one of the economists that came out of France, wrote a book that's just powerful. This is the most unequal time possibly in modern history anywhere in the world, in America. And it's funny because I think there's two qualities that lead to this and fits this discussion. The first is black folks don't know that we're largely a wealthless group. And the
Why
second,
don't we know?
Well, let me say the second, then I'll say why.
Mm-hmm.
And the second is just as important as the first, which is because you don't even know you're wealthless, you don't know that you're supposed to have disdain or hate for the rich. So you're not supposed to like Jay-Z. You're not supposed to like the guy that gave the money to Morehouse because you're so poor because of their existence.
Oh my God.
Like in any other society, everybody kind of gets it. You go to South Africa, I've traveled there. When you talk to the little kids that are 14, they get that component.
Mm-hmm.
We so crazy that we like them because one day we gonna be rich.
What are the numbers?
Which
the real wealth numbers right now?
Well, just for the sake of the show, we went over it. The middle black family worth $1,700 without depreciating assets. We know only 340,000 black families out of 20 million are worth more than $1.2 million. Most of them are at 1.2. So like your grandmama on 80th in Vermont, they got that house and a building. She could be in the top, like, look, 340,000. White families set the bar because there's 83 million of those homes and they have almost 90% of the wealth. So as a result, they just set the bar. It ain't about like ego or metric. They have 13% of their group, 15 million families are worth over $1.2, $1.3 million, and 1 million of their families are worth over 10. But the thing that you see is that's because they control all of the resources. Like, they control every resource in the country.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, now let's get back to this discussion. Inside of this discussion, you start to ask the question, see, it's funny because...
So wait. When you take out the depreciating assets, say, for the middle black family in L.A., they're worth what, $200?
Oh, you start looking at liquid money. Like, the actual money you can use, $200 liquid in L.A. This is the first study I ever did that.
$8 in Boston?
$8 in Boston and $11 in Miami. These are, and what's a trip is most of
these
us,
are like, where are these numbers from?
These are from the Federal Reserve, and UCLA did a study. Right. But what's a trip about us as a group is none of us know it, but all of our friends are these people. So like, it's because like, Zoe, I don't know how much you worth. Tone, I don't know how much you worth, and we don't have those discussions.
Don't be counting my pockets, nigga.
No, I'm not. I'm just saying. I'm just saying, like, on a real level, what you end up with is like, I'm not saying that white folks are better. I'm saying that they've created a system that is perfectly positioned for them to maintain whiteness and their power, where we're good friends, but then they have all the wealth. And now let's talk about our relationships. What you see with black men as a result, because men traditionally are where the wealth is housed, is this criticism and this evaluation that goes on that I can't say goes the other way. So like, what do I mean? Like when a black woman when a black woman doesn't have wealth and lives at her house, and I meet her as an attorney, I don't have judgment. One, I'm kind of different because I kind of know the numbers, but most lawyers they don't judge her based on that if she went to Berkeley or something like that. And when a black woman that's a lawyer meets a man that lives at his mom's house, he's no good.
Shit ain't together. Your shit ain't together.
Oh, she Judge Judy around that bitch.
Your life ain't together, nigga. You're not even using your skills. God gave you the ability to go to school and become a lawyer.
But that's because a man is supposed to provide security. But we live as black people,
or your mama's boy.
Yeah, but a man is supposed to provide security, and we live as black people in this country. So wealth is now wealth is used. See, when we was little, like if your parents are older, 70s, and wealth came through labor. So you can have a fucked up, like, excuse my language, a messed up like background and still work your way into some assets.
Right.
Because my grandparents did.
Today, wealth don't come through labor.
It doesn't come through labor. It comes through creativity, ideas.
No, it comes through transfers.
Literally,
of wealth. Somebody gives you some money.
Yeah.
And because we don't have no white friends in mass, we don't see them transfers. You can know a white person and not know that every year they get $30,000 because what white people are doing right now, instead of this is one trick a lot of them are doing in the top 30%. They know they're going to inherit money. The grandma know already. Well, because the tax allows you to give a $25,000 gift, we're going to start off just giving you $25,000 every year, but it's just coming off your inheritance.
Right.
This is the kind of thing we see.
In order to avoid the tax.
Yeah, and give you some money right now.
Yeah.
Not to mention, I might pay for your car or your kids' tuition.
Hey, Tone, I want to play this video for people who are not paying attention. Listen to this audio, man. This is the breakdown of it right here. The real racial wealth gap. Tone Talks. 60 seconds.
Tone Talks brings to you the racial wealth gap in America, explained in 60 seconds. In America, there are 190 million whites, living in just about 82 million homes, while there are 40 million blacks, living in just over 14 million homes. To truly understand the racial wealth gap, you must look past the income of these families and evaluate household worth. According to demos.org, in total, white American households own 90% of the national wealth. In contrast, black Americans altogether own less than 2.6% of the national wealth, with most of this small sliver being in the hands of black baby boomer retirees. Black working age families are largely invisible nationally in terms of wealth. To give a clearer lens, the bottom 50% of American households control only 1% of the national wealth. And of the total 14 million black households, likely over 10 million black families fall into this bottom group that owns nearly no wealth. The racial wealth gap is real and it's growing. While 10%, or about 8 million white homes, are worth $1.4 million or more, according to Slate.com, when you deduct the family car, 50% of African American homes, or over 7 million black families, are worth no more than $1,700. Subscribe to learn more at tonetalks.org.
That's the Black House. Mimi, what up, baby boo? We need a chair for Mimi.
We got a chair.
I think and also the number of millionaires jumped.
And so listen to this really quickly. You're listening to Dash Talk X. This is the voice of reason. I told y'all we have real conversations. Real conversations. Mm-hmm. You want your man to be perfect. You want your man to have a fat wallet, fat dick, fat resources. You want this man to be educated, elevated, conscious, spiritual. You want it all. But you will live with the dysfunction that you were raised in. You will live with dysfunctional parents, brothers, cousins. You will live with these people. The real question now becomes, is relationship a form of escapism? I know. Is it an entertainment, motherfucker? I tell a lot of young people, I say, look, you're addicted to stimulation. When you talk, now you recognize why love is so hard to find, why love is so difficult to attain or achieve. Now you understand why. Because you're not using relationship for what it was designed for. Relationship is designed to reveal the bullshit within yourself. Mm-hmm. You don't use it for that. You use it for stimulation. You use it for entertainment. You use it for, hey, man, I don't want to have to deal with how I was raised, whatever the fuck happened to me, where I was raised. And whoever I date has to compensate for how I was raised, the bullshit I was taught, how I was conditioned. Is poverty creating, listen very carefully, poverty, wealth calcification, creating a nation of relationship mercenaries? I know it's tough. Tone?
Yeah, I mean, I think we had two different, like, little, one is a big boom and the other was a spike. The first was like black America had these factory jobs, just like white folks, not in mass, not in the same number. And then you had us get into the professional environments to some degree. And you could basically work, we can forget the fact that neither of us going to inherit nothing and just live off this labor. But the other spike is probably important too, which is crack cocaine.
Right.
I mean, you had this money hit, and like it didn't matter. I did the doc on Freeway Rick and his mama. Mama had the house over there and everything. But like, if you was making $1 million a day in the 80s, gross, it don't matter. You didn't feel like it mattered what, everything that was going on with Reagan and all that. So I'm saying that in the sense of your girl that was with you. Y'all didn't have to deal with that. I pay your mama rent.
She turned the other way. I know what this nigga doing. I ain't finna say nothing about it.
Well, I'm saying on the sense that it's just money in terms of us having to deal with we black. You really didn't have to deal with being black till it was time to go to jail. Like in terms of day to day, we got the money like we white. In fact, we got more money than white folk. This is 1985, and you got 10,000 in your pocket, which is like 70,000. No credit cards. You doing it.
You out of control.
So I'm saying that spike created a whole concept of not having to deal with what we got to deal with now. Now you grown. Now you 50 or you 45. In your prime years, you didn't learn how to relate. You didn't know you were learning how to avoid.
Avoid. Look at that. Go ahead, Peaches.
Well, he's right about that because I came up in that era and I watched a lot of brothers go through a lot of money and not do things with their money they were supposed to. My son's dad, on the other hand, was one of the smarter ones. He invested in properties and stuff like that. So, he was listening to somebody. But there were so many brothers out there that have nothing to show for that lifestyle they had with all that money. They didn't invest it. They didn't try to do anything positive with it.
So this is a variation on other topics we've had here on the Voice of Reason on Dash Talk X. The hotline number is 323-230-4610. I'm going to be going to the phone lines very shortly. But this is a variation on shows we've done in the past where, for instance, interracial marriage and dating. For a lot of black people, interracial love is a way to escape blackness. Blackness is poverty here in America. People don't understand that. 2.6% of the nation's wealth is in the hands of black folk. 2% of that is in the hands of baby boomers.
Top 10% of families.
Top 10% of black families.
Yeah.
The other 0.6% is everybody else. You mean Oprah, Jay-Z, Lil Wayne, Kobe, everybody's in the 0.6%?
No, they in the 2.2% with the boomers.
With the boomers.
Yeah, that elite group of
just 1%.
Yeah.
Of elite black families.
Yeah, they got all the money too.
And then the other 0.6% is us.
Is the bottom 90 of black families.
Now,
too broke.
Bill Gates is worth what, 60 billion?
A lot. It fluctuates.
It fluctuates. But currently he's at 60 billion.
I think he's above that.
And that's worth more than half of black America currently.
Well, I know this. I don't want to speak. I know that Ted Turner alone owns about a quarter of the land of all the black folks in the country. Just Ted Turner.
So people go, why do you mention this? Why do you say this? Because what happens is black people will religiousize, right? Watch what I mean by religiousize. See, in the religious world, black people will pontificate and touch on God and spirituality and, all of this stuff because that is the opiate of the masses. That gets your ass through the difficult moment, right? Now, this new age shit come through, and you need to understand something about America. In order to imprison the minds of the populace, you have to control the potency of the knowledge released. I can't give you blue magic knowledge because blue magic knowledge would free you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we're going to give you this watered down bullshit.
You want to speak into the mic or what?
So we're going to give you this watered down homogenized shit.
But do you understand what I'm saying? There's a certain level of information. Also in the spirit realm, with the spiritual knowledge. People who really know shit, they're not telling you what it is.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Even in the spirit realm, I'm not going to give you this information. Because first and foremost, society has conditioned you to be more like animal than Homo sapien. So if I give you some high-end spirit knowledge, you're going to exact revenge on something. You're going to hurt somebody. It's a conundrum, right? I just presented that question. I said, because of wealth calcification and where we are as black people in America, as it stands with money, is America creating a nation of relationship mercenaries? Well, if that's true, what the fuck you gonna do with spiritual knowledge? You think the mercenary is a light switch that turns off inside? No, it doesn't work that way. Am I lying? People say cardinal minds. Yeah, get to the phone lines. I want to get some people on the phones real quick. The number to dial is 323-230-4610. Caller, you're on the line. What's your name and where you calling from?
Yo, is that me?
Yeah, that's you. You up here.
Okay. Hey, what's up, y'all? This TJ from the actor that called in before.
What up, man?
Hey. So you guys were talking about, like, family and relationships and everything, and I went through some years back, but now I'm going through something a little different. This based on relationships, but this situation is not particularly me. But I just feel it's a good question to talk about. So, being raised in a certain way of living and eating and health and everything. What if you meet a woman who's raised differently and wants you to eat her way, but she's going against family, and you know how you guys say, like, I remember Bobby saying something about once you get on insulin, it's your ass, or if you eat a certain way or whatever, and foods can cause cancer, diabetes, and all this other stuff. So if the male gets caught up with that type of thing or even into that, you know, then the family is like blaming the woman or whatever. Like, how can that, like women can, would a woman stay there, or would she just leave and say, well, forget you. If you sick, you sick, you know, but because my remedy works, you know, I'm
right,
holistic, or I'm this and I'm that.
Okay, let me throw it to some women. I don't know if that was on our topic, but that's fine. Mimi, can you respond to him?
You know what? He kind of went in the left lane with me for a moment. So, and then no, seriously, but in response to what
I was trying to figure out a way to explain it. I didn't, yeah.
Yeah, you kind of just...
Because you kind of lost me a little bit.
Stole our whole momentum here.
I
hey, listen,
lost in the
check it
field
out,
with
man.
you.
Just call us later when you get your thoughts together, man. I appreciate it, bro.
But we thank you. I appreciate you. But help me help you.
Hey, man, it's special to get on this show. You better have your shit together. Caller, you're on the line. What's your name? And where you calling from? Damn. Who we got on the line right here? Let's get another one. Caller, you're on the line. What's your name? Where you calling from? I'm sorry. Caller, you're on the line. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hello?
You got to turn your life down, brother. I can hear it in the background.
All right. Oh, hello. This is Malik from Chicago.
Hi,
I'm calling again. I called last week, and I mean, the remedy I think for our community is, like I said, going back to an African way of doing things. If you study African relationship structure, it's the kids that are put together. It's arranged. They know each other from like young school days and everything. Like, it's put together. Like, the parents tell them what they're going to do, and then they put them together.
So you think we should go back to arranged marriages? Is what you're saying?
Man, but that's not love.
The way I feel that way, because right now you letting people choose. It's just causing dysfunction.
So you're not saying all African relationships are predicated on arranged marriages, because that's not true for every African culture.
You can't generalize it for that. I'm saying what the African way that I think that should go is arranged marriages.
Okay, arranged marriages is a style. Hey, man, I appreciate the insight. Thank you for sharing. Good looking.
Okay. I know his daughter.
No.
You ain't arranging my marriage. I know that. I don't like that idea.
Caller, you're on the line. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Right. Ready to mingle.
So you can get
Caller, you're on the line. What's your name? Where you calling from? All right, let's drop you.
He needed somebody to arrange.
Caller, you're on the line. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Oh, what's going on, brother? It's Will from Gainesville. How y'all doing up there?
Will from Gainesville. What's the deal?
Chilling, my brother. See, I just got something to say. I'm going to say it real quick. The problem with black people in our relationships and money and all that, the main reason is that we don't love one another. We could have I could sit and talk with you, Tone, Peaches, and all y'all for days and days in and days out. I done heard y'all since 1960, from 2016. I've been hearing you. And the problem is with us, it's lack of love, unity. And once we get that, and we stand under one umbrella under that, we'll figure out all our situations. Because we spread it out. We spread it out with too many different problems.
All right.
Relationships, money, everything. But once we get under one umbrella, and I was talking to Tone about this last week, we get under one umbrella, and we figure that out like other cultures do, then we'll get it together. Until meantime, y'all stay blessed, and I'll holler at y'all later.
I can smoke a bag of that.
That's
Good
right.
looking.
Thank
The
you.
number to dial is 323-230-4610. You're listening to the Voice of Reason on Dash Talk X. We got a great topic tonight. We've got a barn burner. The phone lines is cracking. YouTube is on fire. Get to your phone lines, man. I'm coming to you. 323-230-4610. Let me just say this. And I keep trying to tell people this. I don't give a fuck what the idea is. If you're not the author of it, you're the slave to it. I know, motherfuckers. You're not the author of the Bible, but you believe in it, which makes you the slave of it. You're not the author of any holy book, but you accept it as the truth. Any idea that you didn't author is a shackle on your spirit. Now, look at your relationship beliefs. Where the fuck did they come from? You didn't write them.
Them shackles.
You didn't write them. Right? What is society geared to do? Make your ass comply. That's what laws and rules and standards and principles are for. The coldest criminals in our community operate above the laws that were authored by their ancestors. You got white people wealthy as a motherfucker already cheating to get into college. Already wealthy. But I'm still not paying, nor am I studying. Here, take this bread, build a gymnasium, bitch, and give me this degree for my kid. And this motherfucker show up at campus every night while niggas is hopping through hoops, taking tests, standardized. Niggas is acting white, and pronouncing their E's and R's.
On Adderall.
Do you get what I'm saying? Burning the candle at both ends.
Right.
Do you understand? We still live in a time where it don't matter how much money you make. There are still places in American society where black greenbacks are not accepted. Bill Cosby. I'm going to get NBC. No, you're not, nigga.
Right.
No, you're not, nigga.
That's what's not happening.
Fuck is you doing?
Byron Allen.
Byron Allen. Do you see? But Byron Allen, different than Bill.
Yeah, Byron keep going around.
But listen, you didn't know 47 Meters Down was Byron Allen. That shark movie. You didn't know that, did you?
The shark movie. I love
Exactly.
that movie. That was terrifying.
Do you understand?
Is that the one with the awards?
Byron
No,
Allen,
you too scared
but this
to
is
watch
what I'm
now.
saying. Byron Allen did it in a way to where he was more obfuscated. You couldn't really tell. Who is he? Who bought this? Whose film is this? You don't really know, do you? Then all of a sudden, this nigga pop up and he got too much momentum for you to get in the way.
Wow.
You can't stop him if you wanted to.
Now you can't. Now it's okay. I got the Weather Channel
Right.
for $300 million in cash. Do you understand?
Go Byron.
Go boy.
So to tie all of this back into the motherfucking relationship piece, you want your partner to be perfect to deliver what your family couldn't. And you think somebody told you know what the fuck you doing. Go ahead, Tone.
I think part of what we're seeing, and I kind of alluded to this earlier, is it's not just your family, your understanding of your own blackness, but not your partner's. And so, like, it's just projected through family. So, like, I'm black. My daddy wasn't around, and I understand as a result I ain't going to inherit nothing. So I'm okay if I don't buy a house. But I'm not okay if you don't buy me a house. I'm not okay if you don't take me on a date consistently. And then the thing that's so funny is, like, house date, okay? So a date at Lori's, any given person that can save $90, no matter the reckless dude that's his only $90, or a guy that has $100,000 in the bank and can pay $90, they both can take you to $90 date. What ends up happening in our race is we have a ton of reckless men. And this goes back to Zoe's peacock feathers. And I think that my main point coming back to it is it's such a trip now that I think for a lot of us, it's going to be quite an adjustment as this thing starts really revving up with Donald Trump's tax cuts, giving all the money to the rich and the programs cutting back. Because I don't care if on one side you on WIC or on the other side your kid is in a college prep program. When that hit comes and they cut both of them, you going to feel that. And so, like, what are you going to do? Are you reconciling that today? Or are you just going to get a new partner or project it in a new partner or make it like, well, I have the right to, you know how many people say, I have a right to have this goal? Yeah, you got a right to be crazy.
Right.
But it's still crazy.
You still nuts.
But I mean, you can.
Caller, you're on the line. What's your name? Where you calling from? Go ahead, Sarah.
Yo, what's going on?
You had a point, right?
Chicago.
Hey, homie from Chicago. Hold on one second, because I just cut off my homegirl. She wanted to say something real quick. Just hold on one second. What'd you say, Sarah?
No, my thing is that, like, when you're, I don't think we're mercenaries or anything like that. Like, we just have options. Like, you have, just because.
Oh, I thought you was going to say something dope, but you're
I
fucking
was going to say something about being black. Wow.
I don't think we're mercenaries.
We're not mercenaries.
Yes,
We just have options.
the fuck you are.
No, you're not. You just
I told
like,
you got to tell them, I don't think we're doing
but
anything wrong.
You pick out your best option, and sometimes you lose out on the averages.
So you're trying to tell me your best option? Wait, you trying to tell me? Hold on one second, brother. You trying to tell me that if you're looking for your best option, you're not a mercenary?
No,
That's true.
Yeah.
You'll have a girl.
Okay.
You'll have a girl choosing between a nigga fresh out that's 56 with no Social Security.
Not at all.
Let me finish. And a 72-year-old that's retired that used to work at the old Nabisco factory.
Wow. No, I don't know who you're talking about.
This is a
you best to pick the one with the benefits.
So,
that is so not true.
All right, let's let the
Why
caller
get
get
old ass people at Nabisco?
Let's let the caller get his thought across.
Nabisco, not Nabrisco.
No, Nabisco was down the street from my house in Houston.
Yo. So, me, I was in a situation, well, not in a situation, but I was still living at home with my mom or whatever, but I was working a job or whatever, helping out with bills. But then I ended up losing that job. And one night I was just tripping out and drinking or whatever, and I ended up meeting this girl. So when I met her, the conversation I had with her for about like 2-3 hours, you know what I'm saying? She had fell in love with me or whatever. You feel me? Then that ended up being 2 years. So throughout that 2 years, I wasn't working. I was trying to find a job. The whole time I'm from Chicago, and where she lived at is in Indiana. In Indiana, the laws is different. So you can't be a felon and really work a job out here. But anyway, throughout that time, she would tell me shit like, yeah, I went to Purdue and woo, I got all these degrees and woo, this and that, da-da-da-da. At the time, I had unemployment. Now, while in the relationship at that time, she was messing up on bills and stuff.
Wait, hold on. So let me stop you, cause hold on. It's just way too much meat on the bone right here.
And then I stirred some macaroni and cheese.
Hold on, bro. Hold on.
Help.
Let the that nigga.
Hold on.
And I told her, and I said, "Stop, Margaret."
Wait, you fucking with a girl? Wait, hold on. You fucking with a girl? Did he say he didn't have no license?
Right. What happened was Indianapolis, they train stopped running. So
he couldn't get a job equal to her. She went to Purdue.
But let me ask you a question. Was you hitting it?
Hard.
Of course.
All day.
So you was getting Purdue pussy while you was on.
She said he got 3 strikes.
Malcolm, he was on Malcolm Little Zoot Suit status.
Right. Unemployment.
Yeah.
That's and this is a perfect example. It don't matter how educated she is. She got needs.
Daddy's little girl.
No, she got needs for that dick.
Listen, did we not talk about earlier in the show where women ignore their intuition? You trying to tell me this woman didn't think to herself, "Oh, this nigga's whole situation is a struggle, and I'm going to be asked to deal with it."
She said,
But
I
I
can
seen his
help
friend.
him. But I can help him. He can beat it up.
Guess what? I end up getting a union job while out here. And then she lost her job. Now she on unemployment. And I'm taking care of all the bills now.
The flip. Okay.
I like that.
So look, I've been listening to you for a little minute, and what you was talking about reflection, I was like, damn, that's exactly what's happening right now. Because at that same time, when I was unemployed, it was the same thing. You know, she had the job, I didn't have the job, but now she don't have a job, and now I got the job, and now I'm holding it down. Because at first she was kind of shaky, like I don't think this dude can hold it down, but now I am, and at the same time, she recognized it too.
She giving you that respect you deserve.
That's right. So y'all still hitting it like it ain't nothing. Yeah.
Unemployed pussy is good.
But wait. So let me ask him something. So let me ask you something. Now that she don't have a job, do you look down on her the way she used to look down on you?
A little bit. That kind of tries to seep in. It kind of tries to seep in, but I always realized that when I wasn't working, she was holding it down.
That's right. Not downing you, not dogging you out, right? Like Tone just said.
She was a little bit.
She was dogging him.
A little bite-sized bitch.
She was like, "Nigga, this Purdue pussy, man." But step your shit up.
Oh, I have a.
But she stayed down.
I have a question.
But she took care of a nigga, right?
Yeah, most
okay.
definitely.
But does she, since she's not working, is she doing a lot of the house things? Like she holding up her end of the bargain at home?
Cleaning up now.
That's right.
You know, she doing the weeds and stuff now.
That's right.
You know, so.
She doing the weeds? Did you say the weeds?
Weeds.
Yeah, because I cut the grass the other day or whatever, and the weeds was still up. I didn't get to them. I was tired. I did 12 hours.
Well, y'all got a 1960s relationship.
Hey, look, brother. Hey, we got to go. Your story was very long, but we appreciate it. It was poignant.
That means they like each other.
He brought the point home. Thank you, man. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Him and
That's
his
right.
woman like each other.
Caller, you're on the line. What's your name? Where you calling from?
A team.
Me, Los Angeles.
You're
LA in the building.
Who is this?
Tammy.
Hey,
Tammy. Hi, Tammy.
Hi, Tammy.
Hi, you guys.
We good,
Oh my
TT.
God. Hey, Tone.
What up?
Hey, okay, yeah. So I wanted to say that I've been married for 26 years. And my marriage is kind of like an arranged marriage in a way. And it's really working out very well. I know it's kind of weird, but it's kind of like it was an arranged marriage because I already knew my husband's family. And we met each other on Christmas Day.
You white?
No, I'm not.
Oh, okay. I'll just ask you.
Hold on, I'm going to turn your mic off while you interrupting my guest.
I'm sorry.
These people in my house now.
I was
Go
asking.
ahead, Tammy, I'd like for you to finish.
I'm sorry, Tammy. Please.
Okay.
Go ahead,
I'm so
Tammy.
Sorry. Okay, so like we met on Christmas Day. My girlfriend invited me over, and so I met him on Christmas Day. And on our third date, he asked me to marry him, and we got married 6 months later, and we've been married for 26 years. We have 3 children, and so
awesome.
I love it. Sure.
But the thing, I think the hardest thing for me was that I really, really wanted him to work on his, status. I mean, you have to be really honest with yourself. Some women are attracted to men with status. And I was really fortunate that his family already had status. But I wanted him to have more status. And I had to, give that up and just, look, this is who he is. And, he has a great job. He has a degree. What is the problem? So me letting go of all that extra pressure actually helped the relationship. And I know that was a lot of ideas. Like my girlfriends were like, well, he didn't even go to Morehouse, and I was like, well, excuse me, but he has a college degree. What are you talking about? And he's an engineer. So I just had to shut my girlfriends up. It's like, look, this is a black man. He is college educated.
So can I interrupt for a second? I mean, because let me just, you're fucking entertaining to listen to.
You're amazing, Tammy.
You're fucking amazing, Tammy.
We're friends, Tammy.
But I don't know where you're going with what you're saying.
Okay.
Wrap it up, baby. 30 seconds.
I'm just saying that the arranged marriage worked out pretty well. I don't think we loved each other immediately, but he knew that I had the qualities he was looking for. He had the qualities I was looking for. And so even though we weren't madly in love with each other, family was most important to us. And so we held thick and through with family, and then we eventually fell more and more in love with each other. And there's this comfort level now. Okay. We love each other. There's comfort, but family came first. And I had to stop spending money, basically.
Well, thank you for sharing
So she
a lot of
encouraged-
her life. Thank you very much. We appreciate it.
Thank you for sharing your life.
Oh, that sounds like
Arranged
King
marriage is
Joffrey Joffer's wife. I
Exactly.
learned to love your father. But go ahead.
Yeah.
Look, I said about L.A., it's a very interesting place because I showed this on my show. Despite black communities being black and in the ghetto, property went up threefold in some areas. And then you had this boule group try to create itself, despite we don't really have boule groups like some Caribbean nations. But they tried to do it with Ladera Heights. No, they literally did. Like when I was doing Freeway Rick the Freeway Cracking the System, Jody Armar explained that wasn't an accident. In the 70s and the 80s, your doctors, your lawyers, your police officers were mixed into the ghetto. 3 houses down was the doctor, and then the next house was the plumber. Well, they said together we gonna just make our own enclave neighborhood and just go up into the hills.
Right.
Well, I say this because I don't know if she understands, and it sounded like she didn't. And I'm not gonna. The power.
Don't be nice.
The power of timing, because you're talking about somebody that was married in 1992.
Right.
So you got married in 92, and you're telling us that arranged marriages work. Yeah, in 92, if your family had money in 92.
Right. What are the laws on the books back then? What came in that was significant that changed everything? Telecom?
Yeah, you had the Telecom Act. You had but I think the main thing is just wealth. Wealth was still relatively spread, and boomers, they was 40 something. She might be a boomer. Being real, I don't know her age. She's probably a boomer.
Her voice is not a boomer though.
Yeah, but she's 6. If she was married 26 years ago, so I don't know. Maybe she
got
got married at 15 because she getting arranged.
She might be Aaliyah.
I don't know. But long story short, even if she is, she's solidly at least Gen X, if not older Gen X.
Yeah.
And so what's interesting is that we look at things like a poster, like it's flat.
Mm-hmm.
And there's so much change going on in the middle of our life. We talked about this in the first hour, maybe, with technology and wealth, that you got to spread it out and look at it like a mirror in terms of all these years matter. So and 92 is a lifetime ago.
So I'm going to ask this right now. What is a sane way? Damn, this is hard. What is a sane way to look at a person? Because a lot of times we look at people from an insane perspective, in my opinion. We're looking at them for what they can do for us. We're not really looking at them in a way how they affect us, right? How they can impact us spiritually, mentally, emotionally. We all of that shit is intangible. I told you, we live in an era where concepts like love isn't enough is prevalent in our community. Only poor people would create a concept like that. Whereas white people who have amassed all the wealth they can possibly hold many, many thousands of lifetimes over are now jumping off mountains looking for meaning, right? They're in pursuit of meaning. Well, relationship is the conduit to meaning, but we throw our relationships to the side if they're not catering to the material consumer, shit we think makes a relationship meaningful. Do you understand what I'm saying? Love is like some fanciful Disney type shit. This is why we're in trouble. That one caller who called in said we need to get on the same page. We need to be down with each other. We need to respect each other. We need to consider each other. Consideration, respect, love, all of these motherfuckers go hand in hand. These are things that are really intangible in a society that produces relationship mercenaries.
I go back to your question and I say, you said, what's the same way to look at a person?
How do you look at somebody like?
See, and this is the interesting thing about this moment versus our grandparents' moment, or some cases our parents' moment is, I think that it's a difference between how do you look at a person during survival versus, let's just call it luxury, excess. There's an excess in the game. Well, I think during survival, you got to at least look at some basic components of are they sane? So, like, let me put it in simple sense. We in the animal sense. You know how squirrels get their nuts because it's gonna be snow?
Yeah.
Well, the squirrel that ain't getting no nuts and is just laying out in the grass don't get picked for mating. Well, what we do here, like we just heard on the call, is we pick that squirrel.
Right.
Because that squirrel ain't gonna get in your about you not picking no nuts.
Right.
I'm using this as an example because I think that in some ways, one thing that we have to be able to do, and it's really hard for a number of reasons. I look at a combination of media. I look at hip hop. I look at the rise of crack cocaine because I come back to what Mimi said. What Peaches said when you actually kind of flipped what I was saying, and you talked about what crack cocaine money became. Well, that was my perfect example because then it created an idea that the crack cocaine guy was better than the doctor that was next to him because he was able to transition that wealth, that burst, into some assets that still are here now. And I'm using all this as an example. We have a mutated marketplace where Jay-Z became a millionaire, but somebody that was a dentist next to Jay-Z might have lost his practice. And I guess wrapping it all up, I think what we have to do is ask ourselves, are we sane? At least economically. And then are we looking at somebody who is acting in a sane way? Meaning, let me give a simple example.
Right.
When you talking to this man and he say, can I take you out to eat? But you hear on the phone his baby mama is calling about he ain't paid for the diapers.
Right.
You gonna have to take me somewhere, nigga.
I'm just saying, I understand that I'm going to leave it there.
Okay, and to piggyback off of what Tone just said, it's that slavery mentality, that runaway, I call it a runaway slave mentality, because you think because what I got is you could take it from me because you're too lazy to go out and get it for yourself. And I think it's the same thing in relationships with men and women, is that a woman is going to take what she see you having next door. You got a happy family. Your man's at home every night. He's paying bills. This bitch over there starving. Her cable's late. She going to suck your man's dick and get her cable bill paid and fuck your whole family off just because that bitch cable bill was late. But see, that's the way people think. They want to take what's yours, you know?
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Peaches, a.k.a. Rambled Eggs. I don't know what the fuck you was talking about.
I connected with that.
I saw it.
Thank you, Tom.
Rambled eggs, ladies and gentlemen.
What I was saying.
We understand you, Peaches.
Because then you gonna suck a nigga dick because your cable is 2 weeks late.
But I bet it's on now.
God damn it.
And then tell you why your man ain't shit and what he need to do to get his shit together.
Now, let me come back to the rest of the ladies, starting with Mimi and then our new guest. And say your name again, love. Elena. Elena Banks from the A.
Elena Banks from ATL.
And then we have Sarah without the H.
Cool.
let me go to Mimi real quick. You've been on 10, 15, 20 versions of this show. This particular topic. In the beginning, you was like, what the fuck, nigga?
Right.
Right? There was pushback. Because a lot of people think Tone is shitting on the creative collective magic that is black folk. Because if you attack aspirationalism, that's why I say religious size shit. You know, I'm gonna wait on Jesus. He always make a way, won't he do? And listen, Lord, listen. Right? We do that, right? And it doesn't matter what the religion is. The religion could be Oprah Winfrey. It could be. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like
Super Soul Sunday.
Anything that gets us through a negative moment, we will religiousize the shit because we're spiritual people. Now, I was making a point earlier today, and I was saying, listen, money is the byproduct of mindset and generational wealth. So we have to keep that. See, a lot of people think, oh, he said money is the byproduct of mindset. So a motherfucker go, all I got to do is change my mind, and then it's not always. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, for instance, wealth gives you space to be creative. Jeff Bezos' family was wealthy. They gave him $300,000, right, to start Amazon, with an understanding that there's a 75, 80% chance that he might not be able to pay us back.
He told him that.
So I can give you this, and
In
you
the
can
90s.
right
In the
in the
90s.
90s.
That's
I
like
can
$1
give you this.
million.
That's $1 million today. I can give you this, and you can fuck it off, and we'll be okay. So you can go be creative. Listen, I need you. Do you see what I'm saying? One of the things that puts strains and stresses on black marriages, and which is a reason why the motherfucking divorce rate is so goddamn high, is because of the wealth situation. Poor marriages last on average 6 years less than wealthy marriages.
The wealth against the aspiration.
Yes. So if we got married just to aspire together, that's not going to keep us. Do you see? So I'm asking Mimi, you've been in these conversations, shit. How in the fuck do we cultivate love? How do you cultivate love with me, baby? Sorry, I'm looking in her eyes. I'm getting pulled in. I'm sorry.
Sounding like that cat.
I think we got to start being real with ourselves, because we have expectations for people and things that we don't even have for ourselves. And so we have to get into a relationship. I believe first and foremost, it has to be about someone that you can spend your time with and grow with and be honest and have integrity in that relationship. And I think all those together, that's when you know you got something. Somebody that's going to ride or die with you. You know, not somebody just coming around because you got some bread. Because when that bread is gone, they going to be gone.
When's the last time somebody died for somebody, Mimi?
Somebody died for
Niggas
somebody.
ain't dying for niggas.
No, niggas ain't dying. Niggas is snitching.
Look, she'll leave right now. Look at her face.
Yeah,
Alana's like, nigga, I'm out, nigga.
Yeah,
Shit, we got to die to be
right.
together? No, nigga, it's cool.
Right.
Go ahead, Mimi.
Right. Oh, yeah, no, people aren't dying over each other anymore. People are not standing a gap with each other anymore. You lose your job, they like, okay, you got about 6 months to make this happen. Oh, he didn't make it happen, and bam. And now the relationship is beginning to have barriers in it, because now you're thinking about things you didn't say. And when you don't say how you feel, slowly there's a wall being built. And I think that causes the relationship to then fall.
And you wise.
Yeah.
Sexy and wise all together. That's delicious right there. Alana, go ahead now.
Expectations. Me personally, I don't have any. Because
But see, somebody going to call you crazy. And it's going to come from your sisters.
Let me tell you why. It go back to childhood. My mother was single parent, 4 kids. My father wasn't in the home. And I was that one that wanted and yearned for that father love. So I expected him to come pick me up on Fridays when he was supposed to. I expected him to pick me up on holidays. I expected him to show up for cheerleader basketball. So as a child, those expectations never got met. So I trained myself not to have expectations at a younger age. Okay?
That's not
Wait.
training, baby.
Wait. I'm telling you. I said at a young age. I didn't say that's what I do now because I learned from that.
Did you?
So in the sense of that, I realized as I got older that was my way of shielding myself from anybody else doing something to me because I expected them, because I didn't want to feel that disappointment. So when we say have expectations, yes, you can have expectations, but you still got to have reality. So therefore, I had to come to the reality that in your mindset, you expect somebody to do something because that's what you would do. Everybody wasn't raised like you. Everybody wasn't taught like you. Everybody hadn't been through the situation and learned certain things to develop expectations. So therefore, your mindset is different. Now, growing up and dating, people tend to confuse flaws with a sign. Okay?
Oh, go ahead. Say more. This is Cooks. This is good.
When you meet someone, male or female, and you don't listen to that woman's intuition, or when you do listen to it, and you got on the right, you thinking this is a flaw, or you thinking this is a sign. You got to understand that one of those are temporary and one of those are permanent. Now, if you want to be a community worker and go around and work on these broken projects and certain relationships and want to try and build a man and make a man and develop somebody, that's on you. But when you go into that situation and you know what you're getting into, that's pretty much what it's going to be.
Okay.
So you got to understand if that's a flaw or if that's a sign, because one of them you can't change. And I ain't got to tell you which one that is.
I love it. The number to dial is 323-230-4610. Ladies and gentlemen, we're broadcasting live on my YouTube channel. Listen, it's very disrespectful, the like count on my YouTube channel right now. It's very disrespectful. We got nearly 1,000 people in the box and just a tick under 300 likes. Can everybody hit the like button right now? Hit it right now. And also, I'm going to the phone lines. The number to dial is 323-230-4610. That's 323-230-4610. The sister said a lot.
Yeah.
Yes, she did.
Fuck. Let me just deal with this real quick, ladies.
Mm-hmm.
Just like you can't build up your little brother, you can't build up your man.
Right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Okay? Let me just say, any construction work you invest in on anybody outside of yourself is like building a building like in the wrong spot for the wrong company that didn't hire you. It's like you built a free building for somebody.
Right.
No.
That's not your building. That's not for you.
No permit.
All that shit you did was supposed to be done for yourself.
Hold on a second. Let me say something. I see so many women saying, oh, I be damn I make you to this man and you leave me go be with another woman.
You can't make anybody into anything.
So who you mad at?
Let me add to that. Women do it all the time. Like literally, like how many men have taught women how to like go buy their first car or something like that? You just gone. I mean, it's no It's interesting because even like when we look at this thing, like, and I know this is a generalization. I know this, but we gonna have this generalization. Some, but no. When a man pays for dinner, generally we don't even count like how many times we went to dinner. But then we come back to this concept, I'm going to build you into this man, or I pay for all this. It's like a ledger of what I've done, because traditionally women are supposed to pay. And so structurally what ends up happening is like you keeping counting, I'm loose with it.
Yeah.
Y'all ain't loose
And
with it.
you know what?
Well, no,
Y'all
she's a relationship banker.
No. What it is that
y'all missing it.
No.
I don't know a woman that's poured into a man, that's invested in a man that didn't want nothing from him.
How many niggas that had the meals or whatever and want some pussy?
Hold on. Let me just do this real quick. I had to cut you. Hold on. I had to cut your mic. I want you to restate what you said, but I want you to change your tone and delivery. Go ahead, Sarah.
No, but how
many niggas gonna eat? What? I was like, hey, hold on, Sarah.
No, but
That's
it's
not
always
how you talk.
It's always like what like we keep ledgers, we keep all these books and stuff like that.
Is
or what
it
a
true?
guy does for us. But if a guy take you out to eat, bitch, and you want a dessert?
Where's
you give some pussy tonight?
What?
Bitch, what?
Told you, 75-year-old
Come
nigga
on.
from the Bisco.
Nah, No.
Listen, if you're on a date where you're bartering pussy for key lime pie.
No, what I'm saying. No, I'm saying if you're saying we're keeping a book, a lot of guys they think like, oh, they paid for these meals that y'all say y'all don't allegedly be like taking tabs of and y'all loose with it. But as soon as y'all get it, you pay for that meal, you be thinking you obligated to something else.
Listen,
Can I say?
you bring up a great point. Yes. And I'm not going to marginalize it. However, it doesn't apply to all situations, right?
Well, you said
this is Sambanal, right?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. But there are women that know, I'm not finna fuck with this nigga. No way, no how.
Mm-hmm.
But I will go get this free meal.
Right. I think they yeah, you're right.
So
They do it.
again, in the relationship dance in America, we go on a date,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a quality place. That's an intimate movement.
Okay.
I'm not taking my friend. Listen, me and you.
Okay.
You know where we going?
Where we going?
Del Taco, nigga.
Man,
Let me say.
I want Taco Bell though because they got that $5 nacho box I want.
I'm just saying. So if a man goes to a spot and he spends some hard-earned bread, in this society, that's a time-honored tradition of, I'm putting skin in the game for you, baby.
And what you gonna want from that? Exactly. You're proving my point.
Ain't gonna be too many more times.
But you're proving my point.
Again, that's the social dance.
Mm.
And there are women out there who use that social dance knowing I'm never calling him again.
And let me say this,
But
Zoe.
I will get these cheddar biscuits
But Zoe,
tonight.
This is my point. The social dance don't make no sense when you really break it down. I told Zoe this before. What we initially used to see, in my view, is men were chasing chastity, not vagina. So if your vagina already had a child or you already were married, like, that didn't get you this value. Let me explain what I mean. So under this logic, when a woman pays for a bunch of dates, I should be able to pay with sex as well. But I can't, because that don't make no sense. What she expects in exchange for those dates is still stability, and still expects me to become a man that can provide that kind of stability in life. Now, I'm not saying there aren't individual women that do it just for that, outside of this cultural norm. But I'm saying culturally, you're exactly right, that there's this weird exchange too often for dinner for your vagina. But I'm saying on the other side, when women are paying for it, they're doing it for a whole nother structural game. That's just my view.
Right.
Paying for food.
Are y'all listening? Did y'all hear what he... Okay, cool.
wait,
Go
wait,
ahead.
wait.
Hold on. I'm going to come to you. Peaches, say what you need to say, and it better be.
Well, what I was gonna say before I was interrupted before was that
Okay, we're done. And we're done. That's not how we do here. Okay. Now, make your point without besmirching your host.
What I was about to say is that women that have more than men in general think he owe her something. I'm not saying, that's how a woman should be. But if I'm a lawyer in LA, I'm making more than your broke ass.
Wow.
And I'm just saying that's her mentality. I'm making more than your broke ass. I want to eat crustaceans. This nigga can't buy me crustaceans. Now I'm going to have to pay for him and his broke ass friend. I mean, that is her mentality. And she's going to do it because that dick is good. But in the back of her mind, she's still thinking this is a broke ass nigga.
Has he paid his full debt?
Get on the mic.
Has he paid his full debt when he goes and has sex with her that night?
Oh, I'm sure if he's paying it, he gonna have to put in some work.
No, but let me say it socially. Because this was no, he hasn't.
He hasn't.
He hasn't.
No.
No, socially she has. If we inverted on your math, but
she's
not.
She's a relationship loan shark. This is
Right.
just the payment of the interest, nigga. This is
Right, but nigga, no, you are not about to. You are not about to just be, I mean, that's her mentality, is that I have more than him, so he needs to X, Y, and Z for me.
And then Mimi.
So you saying that a woman would pay and do these things, but she has an alternative motive. That's what you're saying, Tone?
No, what I'm saying is this. The way this thing is structured, when we pay, we're socialized to almost forget in mass.
Right. And this is what you're supposed to do.
Because it's baked in that that's what we're supposed to do. What I'm saying is because of the way this thing has been structured in mass, when women pay, it ain't forgotten in that same way.
No. It's an investment.
It goes to what you just said about I built this man into this thing.
This is a brick in the wall of this nigga.
So what ends up happening is that you can walk away with my investment and I can't.
Right. That's her mentality.
You can walk away with everything I poured into you, whether it's get you back in school or whatever, and nobody in your family even gonna tell you that you was wrong. You finding a better man. Wait, but the man that drive the bus is the reason why you got to go to school. Well, you went to school now, you finished, you don't need to be with a bus driver.
At least you got something good out of him, honey.
First of all, let me just be correct to say I'm speaking in general sense.
Oh, we all are.
Okay.
We know that.
But no, I'm not talking about
So my
me.
thing is this. Let's look at some perspectives of this woman. What if the woman just have the ability to pay for this man on this date and she just want to take him? She may be a cougar. She may just want to know, I'm really wanting to go to this restaurant and I'm going to take my man with me and this is going to be it. And she walk away.
I'm not saying it don't happen.
It may not happen, but
No, I'm not saying it don't happen.
Don't happen.
But it's uncommon.
But you have to also look at the type of woman that you're sitting in front of with at these restaurants. So let's be clear. It may be a woman who was raised in a household with a father and brothers that open the door, pull the chair for her, pay for bills, and she was around those men that said this is how a man's supposed to treat you. So maybe that's what she's expecting. That's what she's used to. But if you got a person who ain't never been, don't even know who her daddy is, ain't got no brothers, uncles, ain't got no money, she's never seen a man be a man. So sometimes I always find myself understanding and have to realize that I can't get mad at people, and I find myself apologizing to people and they don't even know it because I get mad at what they don't even know what to do, what I want them to do. So sometimes you can't get mad at them because they don't know to do that. But the same sense, a woman will want a man to open a door for her and stand there until he open it.
Mimi, agree or disagree? Then Peaches, then Sarah.
I agree. We're talking about the initial conversation. So I agree with what Tone said, but I do want to add this piece. So in today's society, women are doing their thing as well. And there are some women that pay for men. I know a couple of women that pay for men. Matter of fact, I know someone that's one of my patients that I deal with, and I had just told them not to give a nigga some money right now. He only called him on the first of the month. He don't even take him out. He needs some money. Something's wrong every month around
Mimi,
the first.
Does that make her more of a woman and him less of a man?
Well,
if she's paying for him, go.
Okay, now in this particular situation that I just mentioned, I think less of him because this is a person with a mental handicap situation. They have an intellectual disability. That means that you are preying on the weak to take money from someone who only gets SSI and can barely afford to live day to day. So I have a problem with that.
Right.
Okay, but now if that's her dude and that's how they getting down, and she like, I mean, if that's how she doing it, that's how she doing it. Because guess what? Some women, that's what they do. They want to pay for a man. They feel like that's how they can beat the other woman. There's a whole bunch of women he could be dating, right? But she like, shoot, ain't nobody taking you out like me. There's some women that do want to pay, and then there's some women that want to receive.
Peaches, what about the Tyler Perry acrimony scenario?
Yeah, she was just a very angry woman. She had anger issues that she never dealt with, and it had nothing to do with him per se. It started in her childhood, obviously, because her sister said, you know how she gets. So it started way before that man came into the picture.
Movie?
Yeah.
You talking about the movie?
Yeah. You said acrimony type situation.
Listen, this woman was trying to put his purpose on a timer.
Yeah, and she was wrong for that, but it
That's
wasn't
the part I'm dealing with.
Okay.
See,
now
because you framed it up like a justification piece for her being a piece of shit.
Now,
so hold on. because you interrupted me. So hold on, buddy. This motherfucker tried to put his purpose on the timer. She thought she could be like, all right, well, whatever, nigga, it's over. We out. And then the blow-up situation happened.
But she didn't put his purpose on a timer until her sisters got involved with what was going on in her household.
We're talking about so many branches of female dysfunction in America. Part of the reason why your relationships are toxic is because you have a toxic sister circle.
Okay, I just want to go back to what Tone and what's
You
your
don't
name?
want to address what I'm
I'm
presenting
gonna go back to that
you?
too, but I don't want to lose
How many
my
things
thought.
you think you're going to...
You know, come on now. Okay, because he knows my thoughts are short. Now, I smoke a lot of weed and I need to grasp hold before I let it go. Now, back to what you were saying about the women not having the father in the household and the single mom and teaching them, you know, how a man's supposed to treat them. My father was in my household and taught me, but a lot, like you said, a lot of women don't have those fathers, but they have uncles. They have a village around them. And the ones that don't, it's unfortunate. But there are men that should be allowed in daughters' lives. If you are a single mother and you have brothers around you that are productive citizens or humans, why shouldn't they be allowed to teach your daughter something about men, you know? That's all I wanted to say about that. Now back to you.
No. You don't get to answer 16 questions. You're done. Let's go over to Sarah. What in the fuck?
Yes.
Jesus.
Well, I've been holding that for a while.
Yeah, clearly. She's just wild. She's a lemur. Anyway, Sarah.
Meerkat.
Actually, because...
No, I have something for you specific.
Yes, sir.
So,
ready.
Again, we're in this society, all these fucked up rules, right? Do you think wealth or lack thereof determines the stability of the gender role? Ooh. That's going to hurt.
Well,
because when women have money, they think they got power.
Yes,
When women got more money in a relationship, they be like, nigga, what?
Right.
Yeah, because you stick your chest out a little bit further. You know what I'm saying? And you feel like you have more bargaining power, and
Does
your
the
word
purse
matters.
determine the gender role? 323-230-4610.
It has in the past, and now since it's flipped, where females are actually in the majority of households are making more money than the men. Then, yeah. I can tell you what to do, and you better not be going out with your boys. So when I check on
Peaches?
you better answer your phone.
I'm not answering shit,
You
nigga.
better answer my motherfucking phone. I paid for it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna cut it off.
Hey, what you think you got? You think you got a puppy or something, nigga?
Yeah.
This motherfucker's off.
That's okay. I can locate it.
It'll be in the motherfucking trash on 3rd and Beverly, nigga. Go ahead.
Not 3rd and Beverly.
Go ahead.
And answer that question I just posed.
I didn't hear the question.
You wasn't listening?
I was listening, but I wasn't.
There's a lot of fuckery going on with you today. I don't know what's happening. I don't know what kind of weed you hit. Let me go to Mimi and then come back to you. Does bread determine the gender role?
I think it does. I think it does in relationships because I think whoever's got the bread, they trying to run the show. And I mean, period. Wherever they go, they running things.
That's interesting.
You know what I mean?
That's interesting.
I think so.
Alana?
I think it does, but it's unfortunate. But
it's sad.
It's sad, but I know a couple people that are the breadwinners and they don't run the show because they're not the most educated in the couple.
Right.
So
They probably make the money. They just dumb.
they don't know how to run a household. They don't know how to do certain things, but they make the money and bring it home. But you have a lot of people where you don't know who make the most money because they don't allow that to, separate them, which the way it should.
Peaches, are you ready to make sense?
Yes.
Okay, let's see where this goes.
I have to disagree
With?
the breadwinner having the most say-so. I think that it's unfortunate that most women think they have the most say-so because they are the breadwinner, but in reality, a man is still a man and a woman is still a woman. And as long as there is that gender balance in the household, no, there won't be a big difference in the gender roles, like the guy they called in said. They both took care of each other.
But I believe
Good
the
stuff.
person that has the most should be able to want to spend the most, though. Like, if I make the most, I should spend more than you.
You're very selfish. It's
I'm not
fine.
selfish.
I mean,
It's equal.
It's fine.
But that's part of what you're looking at is something else right here, too. So, my mama, if she was alive, wouldn't be but 56, 57. That puts you in, and Peaches, I'm guessing in like your young 50s. So, like, that puts you as being born into the 60s.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the big move of feminism was in the late 70s. So your formative years and your identity is really formed in a pre-feminism kind of era. The women that taught you from an era that was. Young woman next to you, she's pretty much entirely almost post-feminism. And structurally, you see the difference in the gap in terms of where we were and where we're going. Now, the thing is, white folks on the other side, through the wealth, have maintained a structure that still resides in the space that Peaches is talking about. But our world is one where what you just said, I believe that the person that makes the most spends the most. Now, this is the problem, though. If I'm a man and I make the most, they didn't even build the world for me to spend the most. I go to Macy's, they got a little corner for me. They got a corner for me. A corner. You've been to Macy's and looked around the men's section. It's very small.
Right.
And I'm saying all this because it's built for you guys to spend. We don't want to get out, and I'm not guessing.
You see that face?
Perfume.
Let me tell you right now. Did you see that face?
I'm not saying that there aren't
Okay.
there aren't things that men can buy. That's not what I'm saying. But go there and really look at the floor that's the women's floor.
Right.
And look at the corner that's the men's corner. No, it's more than just, it's part that you have more stuff. Go in the mall and look at the amount of stores.
Absolutely. But women like to shop. Exactly.
And that's
And women like to shop. It's a different beast, too. Women have to, not to say that it's right, but women have different types of clothing, different types of things. Men have just certain pieces. We require more. But going back to something else that you said before there, because that's really what I wanted to talk about. I really wanted to say that I think in today's society, like, for me, my king is my king. But when I answered that question, I said it from the sum banal. Because most people that make the most money, they feel like they're running the show. You feel what I'm trying to say? I even have homegirls that make a bunch of money, and when they go places, they want to pay the bill so they can feel like they running the show. That makes them feel good. It's like they hanging, their nuts is hanging. Like, I took all y'all out. And you may hear about it another day. Remember when I took you all out? So it's like some people want to let their nuts hang, and they do that wherever they go. So it depends on the type of person that it is and what they may do. But I think a king should be the king, and the queen should know her place.
Ladies and gentlemen, you've been listening to The Voice of Reason on Dash Talk X. I'm Zoe Williams, the voice of reason. We were not very reasonable tonight. I do want to say I appreciate everybody for contributing to the conversation. And that's what it is. This is a very small fragment in a larger, wider conversation that should continue to be had. We have all of these escape mechanisms and coping mechanisms to be able to just, relate. We can't change our people. We didn't choose our family. So we have this sense of entitlement when we choose somebody to be with. God damn, this is not Build-A-Bear world.
Right.
Anyway,
True that.
I will say, continue the conversation out in the diaspora. I appreciate everybody for tuning in. I appreciate everybody in the chat room. Everybody should hit the like button. We don't have all the answers, but maybe you do. So leave a comment on the page. I appreciate it, everybody. I'm Zoe Williams, the voice of reason. It's Friday, May 31st. We up out of here for the weekend. I'll be back Monday with all new Zoe What and VOR. All right? Deuces.
Deuces.